The Banat Village Museum, Romanian, Muzeul Satului Banat, is an ethnographical, open-air museum in Timișoara. It is spread over a forest area of 17 hectares and is designed as a traditional Banat village, including rural households belonging to various ethnic groups in Banat, Romanians, Slovaks, Swabians, Ukrainians, Hungarians, etc. Buildings with social function of the traditional village, town hall, school, church, etc., folk art installations, and workshops. Joachim Miloia, an art historian, painter, and director of the Banat Museum, had the idea to establish an open-air museum in Timișoara. In 1928, Miloia returned from Cluj-Napoca, where the Ethnographic Museum of Transylvania was opened, and founded a small ethnographic exhibition in Hunyad Castle. A 17-hectare plot of land was allocated for an outdoor exhibition, and construction began 50 years ago in 1971. In 1994, the ethnography section of the Banat Museum developed a thematic plan for the Banat Village Museum that was published in 1997 under the signatures of Nicolae Sacara and Ioan Viorel Popescu. This thematic plan led to the present appearance of the museum. The thematic plan of the future museum was to include the whole Banat in its area of interest and to present this heritage as follows. One part was to include 16 zonal types of peasant households, reflecting zonal, socioeconomic, and cultural characteristics. One of the criteria that was emphasized from the very beginning was the ethnic composition of the Banat. Of the 16 museum items to be located, 13 were to be Romanian, 1 Swabian, German, 1 Hungarian, and 1 Serbian. These objects were supposed to be complex units, households with living quarters and outbuildings, with inventories of household and utilitarian items. The second part of the open-air exhibition was to be dedicated to specialized crafts, illustrated by 2 potters' households, a leather tannery workshop, a rotary workshop, a blacksmith's and a shoemaker's workshop, and a village bakery. Another part of the exhibition was to present the peasant technical equipment, and the last part, which was to connect the groups of museum objects, were small-scale peasant architectural elements, sidewalks, fountains, resting places, constructions intended for leisure. The project of the Banat Village Museum includes as its main attraction the civic center of the village, conceived as a living space of cultural, social, and administrative life, consisting of the village hall from Sarazani, Fighet subzone, 19th century, the National House in Babșa, L927, Lugoj subzone, the Timișoara Customs House, which stood on the main road of Lipova, late 19th century, the Berna School, the Barna Pub, 19th century, and the Topla Church, 19th century, Fighet subzone. In 1992-1994, the houses in Bata, Birchiș, Kapelnaș, Jupanești, Zolt, and partly Jebel were restored, and the civic center was completed by the establishment and reconstruction of the church from Topla, the school from Barna, and the pub from Barna. In 1994-1995, the interiors of these units were furnished so that on May 1, 1995, the open-air exhibition could be reopened to the public, and later an open-air stage was built, where ethnic folkloric events are held in the summer. In the following years, the items on the Alley of Ethnicities were built, namely the Hungarian household from Babșa, the Ukrainian house from Repedea, Maramureș County, the German household from Biled, the Slovak Salash from Nadlac, the Serbian house, and the upcoming purchase of a Bulgarian and a Czech household. This project was carried out in cooperation with the above-mentioned associations of national minorities. In this context, the Festival of Ethnic Communities, which is held annually in the museum, was organized by each ethnic group in their own household. The very definition of the Ethnographic Museum outlines the main objectives, namely the acquisition, preservation, and enhancement of monuments of folk architecture, peasant institutions grouped in one space, as well as other testimonies of traditional cultural civilization, representing its own cultural heritage through its own means, temporary or permanent exhibitions. The method of realization is through research, studies, and communication, specific cultural actions and other cultural expressions through which the whole complex of ethnological messages is conveyed. On January 1, 2000, the Banat Village Museum was established by a decision of the Timiș County Council, including the open-air department of the Banat Museum, as a separate institution with legal personality. The collection of the new institution was formed by the transfer of all monuments of folk architecture and peasant technology from the Banat Museum, the inventory related to these objects, and 442 pieces from the collection of the ethnographic department, which were taken over for the interior decoration of the museum item. It included 2,067 pieces, covering the following areas: architecture and rural technology, furniture, household items, agricultural and pastoral inventory, homemade textiles, costumes, fabrics, embroidery. In 2006, the ethnographic department of the Banat Museum, both the staff and the collection, was transferred to the Banat Village Museum. To summarize, the Banat Village Museum collection includes 13,620 inventoried objects, distributed among several collections: ceramics, 2,802, folk costume, 4,538. Domestic use, 2,167. Architecture, furniture, 318. Ornaments and jewelry, 374. Religious objects and icons, 539. Textiles, 2,352. Painting and photography, 530. The Banat Village Museum had 45 authorized positions, of which 40 were occupied and 5 were unoccupied. Management positions, 5. Executive positions, 35.